Video journal entry 54, but number 2 for the year. February has gone by super fast. Oh my gosh, literally it feels like just yesterday I was coming home from Italy. I came home from Italy at the beginning of the month. The month has been flying. Where to start? I feel like I've been moving this month. I feel like I'm going in a direction I want to be going in a lot, especially creatively. I finally fired my pottery kiln, my ceramics kiln, which I had been holding off for so long. I bought that kiln last year. Not even last year now. Is it last year? Yeah, I bought that kiln like summer last year, and I finally fired it. It was just something that I don't know why. It's part of the problem with me like not doing things I need to do and like that I want to be doing. But I finally did it. I'm currently working on an EP. Like I literally the other day, this week, I told myself like, let me make an EP. I need to release one by Sunday. So tomorrow's Sunday. I'm working on that right now. So the past few days I've been like doing productions and kind of doing vocals, and that's been like, this feels crazy because it's like, you know, like I said, I like put it off, but like it's one of those things that like I wanted to do it, but was for some reason inside me it was just like blocked. Like I wanted to do it, but I kept holding myself back. But now I'm like, I can't hold myself back anymore. I need to like push forward and drive forward. I feel like what's been helping me a lot, maybe I'll make a deeper video about this, but like I feel like what's helping me a lot is like I feel like telling myself, you know, disregarding past failures and like not holding so much weight about past failures and the things I'm doing in the present, you know? Like, so for example, like often I would think to myself like, well, this didn't work last time, or I didn't do good with this last time, so why would this work now? You know, learn helplessness, right? And I've been working on like just omitting that. So now I just think to myself like when I'm doing something that's in the vein of maybe things that I've been doing for a long time, I still consider it as like something brand new. And I've like just told myself like, well, it doesn't matter like what my skill level is, whatever. I'm just gonna do what I need to do and like what I want to do. And I may be asked, but I'm gonna do what I need to do. And like if I continuously do it, one day I won't be asked anymore, you know? So I've just been like thinking about that mindset of like, each time I try something that's this brand new start, I'm not kind of, even though life is a compounding thing, like life is compound interest, right? And I do have like certain things that have compiled to help me further, but like, I don't think about it so much. I just think about it as like, I'm doing this thing right now. Let's just pretend like this is the skill set level that I started with, and I'm just doing the thing. So give myself some grace. And I feel like that's been helping me push forward. I feel like also, what's helping me is like I've done like little content things that's making me hold myself accountable, and I think like response from my community is also helping a lot as well. Like for example, with my pottery and firing my kiln, I did a little random series on like my pottery page where I was like bullying me until I finally fired my kiln, and I got like such kind of responses that like I don't even know what I was expecting from that, but it really was encouraging. It really did help. And knowing that I put it out loud and like I had to be held accountable, I tell these people that like, hey, like, you know, like I'm gonna be firing this kiln. I like had to see it through and fire the kiln. And I'm doing the same thing similarly for this EP. I was like, well, if it worked then, let me do it again this time. And I'm making these songs. Like I'm sitting down and I'm like working on production. I feel like production is one of those things that like, it's not like I didn't like it. I actually like production, but I think in the years past, you know, it just feels so overwhelming when you have to get so many things done as like a creator, as an artist. And then like I felt like my musicality wasn't good enough for production. But I don't know, I feel like a lot of things over time have just been really marinating and like solidifying in my mind. That's why I say like life is a compounding thing, right? Like I feel like things are just making a lot of sense to me from like that I've learned earlier. So I'm feeling more capable. So I'm working on production, like, you know, yay. I think my same goal of like I'm having this year that I had last year that I don't think I really made as much leeway with is, and that is I'm talking fast, y'all, I'm sorry. And that is making income from my creativity. This year by fire by force because my contract about to end. There's no playing, you know. I want to be out of corporate America. I'm about to be 1 year behind. Like in the summertime of this year, midpoint of this year, I would have been 1 year behind of like when I said I wanted to be out of corporate America. So I need to make this income. The thing is, I'm not trying to be a struggling artist either. Like, I need to make a substantial income to cover my costs, to have more financial freedom, to just be empowered. You know, it feels daunting thinking about how to make that type of money with creativity. And it's like, it's not an impossible thing. And I feel like creativity is such a valuable thing. But as it goes, like, being able to leverage that craft and, like, in a way to make substantial income can feel like a really daunting thing, because it entails a lot more than just one's craft, right? It entails business acumen, it entails marketing, etc. You know, different parts of business acumen, project management, different things like that to make it pop off. You know, networking, etc. Being able to communicate, etc. So I really want to lock in this year. I need to lock in this year. I have to pay my bills. I feel like I was feeling so empowered about that goal and that task of, like, finally making a living from my creativity. But y'all, tell me why my mortgage went up $500 because my property taxes went up. And that, like, made me that shook me a lot, to be honest with you. I was feeling Delulu is a Delulu, but, like, my mortgage going up $500 a month, that, like, really shook me to reality. And it made me stumble. But I'm not gonna stumble. It made me stumble in a way of, like, dang it, I need to go back to, like, interviewing. Literally immediately I was like, well, shit, let me go on LinkedIn and, like, make sure I secure something after my contract is over. But I'm not gonna stumble. I'm gonna remain calm. Remain calm, that things will work themselves out. But one of my goals, my big goals, is, like, to pay off my house in full. I want to do it soon. I want to do it within, like, the next year, or in the crazy world I would do it in this year, but, like, I want to do it in, like, the next few years to get my mortgage paid off, so I don't have that on my chest weighing me down. But that's what I'm at this week. That's what I'm at this month. You know, it's just been going. It feels like I said, it's flown by, and probably attributed to the fact that, like, I'm doing so many, like, different things. But yeah, I hope this pace continues into the summer, into the rest of the year. As far as, I picked up 2 new books I want to read. I feel like I wanted to read more feminist literature, specifically from the perspective of Black women, because Black women's experience as women is just a very different thing, right? And not necessarily always different, as it is different, but I think sometimes I've come to notice that, like, it oftentimes precedes what other women will come to experience. I realize that, like, a lot of things Black women have experienced, multiple women are experiencing it now, and that's, like, been a recurring theme, I feel like, when women's rights, etc. Like, think about, like, the labor movement. Women were fighting for the right to work. Black women had already been working. Like, Black women didn't have those type of gender norms placed upon them in the times of slavery, because they want slaves and etc. Not slaves, but, like, slave masters, etc. wanted the same profitability and the same work output out of women that they did out of men and out of children. So we were already doing that, and when we were fighting for a right to work, we've been doing that. And the same thing now. I feel like Black women have had the struggle between men and this conflict of, like, well, Black women have always contributed and have always been putting in work, have always been providers of a household, you know. But at the same time, Black men had this construct of masculinity and what it means to be man, and, like, patriarchy and male superiority. So it caused a butting heads between Black men and Black women, because it's like, well, you can't do the same thing that these white people are doing, because, like, we're contributing as equally, like, we're leading households as well. So for you to want to apply that same construct of, like, masculinity, etc., you know, and Black women have had butting heads with Black men. We've always had that conflict for a long time, and now that same conflict is happening with women across the board, with women proceeding and kind of, like, excelling in different regards when it comes to, like, education, etc. And now, you know, they're feeling the same thing. So that's why I was like, you know, I want to read more feminist, like, literature from the perspective of, like, Black women, etc. Because I feel like I've decided, like, that I want to read more, and I've decided to, like, read more of what I want to read. Because I feel like when I've been reading in the past, like, in my, like, early adulthood, etc., it's been more so from a place of, like, trying to learn and, like, gain skills, and, like, not as much of, like, pleasure. Like, I do read, like, maybe, like, a manga or something, like, for pleasure, but as far as, like, book wise, like, I feel like I haven't picked up as many pieces in regard to, like, what I want to read, etc., and topics that I want to expand in. So I'm doing more of that. I want to try to finish that book. I don't know if I'll finish both of them this month. I tend to, like, read things piece by piece, I put it down and I read it a bit more. So I don't know when I finish it, but I've been liking both of them, both of those reads. I'm reading that's the title, something I did, but I think it's Women, Race, and Class, Angela Davis, and then I feel like the Secret of Our Mother's Gardens, or I forgot what it's called. It's like In Search of Our Mother's Gardens by Alice Walker. So that's what I'm reading. I've been liking them both. They're pretty good, and I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. You know, I think it's topics I'm interested in, so it's like easier to read. You know, that's what I have with that. Like I said, this month has been pushing. Hopefully tomorrow I have an EP release. Like it feels really empowering. Like literally, I sat down and like I made a whole deck. I saw this like one video of like Leon Thomas saying like his I think like Artist Bible or something like that. But it's just essentially like a brand pitch deck for oneself and like one's artistry and like one's ethos, etc. And I sat down one day, and not just one day, but like maybe a course of like a few days, a couple of weeks of like really locking into like what I want my world to be, of like really deep world building and like what that would look like, from like the music, the themes, the atmosphere, the instrumentation, and the direction of music and genre, to like what I want like performances and things look like, from clothes to style, makeup, hair, etc. And I really like sat down and like wrote it all down. So it's like a good roadmap, and I look at it and I like try to like marinate that in my mind. So like as I'm working on things, it's like coming through, but I've like made like different plans, and it feels good to like see it in action. So I hope it gets somewhere, you know. I hope it gets somewhere. And it's weird because a while back I wrote down like my different endeavors and like creative things that I do and how I want to do it in what order. And I feel like music was like in the last order, not because of like my desire, but because of like just like how it can like advance me career-wise, you know, because music is so oversaturated and it's just such a big saturated market. So I felt like working on other things will help me piece and puzzle into music. But I don't know, I'm just kind of like now just trying to work on things as they come, you know. But that's what I'm at with it. I finished a piece that's drying right here, my ceramics. I did like a relief piece, which is another thing that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I finally sat down and I started it. It's the first step, you know, to see how that would go. It's like I want it to be wall art. I want to do some more things in that vein of like ceramics and art, etc. And yeah, that's what I did this week. Yeah. On another note, I just felt like stressed to hear about what's happening in Iran. It almost set me back, but I'm gonna keep trucking forward. But that's where I'm at. You know, I think I've said this before, but I often think about this saying, something that I heard this lady say to me before. Like I was at this event that was like a community event, I think for my dad's work or whatnot. And there's this lady from the community. I think my dad told her that I like to travel. And she was saying like, oh, that's really nice. And it's nice to be able to do it without like all like political implement. Not she didn't say it verbatim like this, but like it's nice to be able to travel without having to worry too much, because you're in relatively stable times politically and like globally, etc. And to see how that's like changing so fast is really crazy. And I've been thinking about what that woman said a lot these days. But that's where I'm at with it this week. I'll see you next week. Bye.